YouTube, how's it going? Jose here, aka Repugnant Man, and today we're going to be talking about how you can start competing in Pokemon TCG in 2027. So guys, there's going to be timestamps down below for each section. It's going to be what I've kind of learned and the resources that I've gathered for wanting to play in 2027. So it's going to be championship points, kind of what they are and how to get them. The event locator and the Play Pokemon app is going to be another section. Then signing up for bigger tournaments like regionals and internationals, and then just best resources for new players. So let's go ahead and get started here, guys. Championship points. Well, what do? They net you an invite to the World Championships. Granted, you have to be one of the top players in each region. As you can see, US and Europe, the top 140 Masters are the ones that get invited to Worlds. So you actually have to be a really tip-top player to get a Worlds Invitational. As we can see here, the #1 player in the US was Liam Halliburton with 1750 points. That's a ton. And we're going to put it into perspective with how much you can get from each different type of tournament. Another benefit of kind of competing is there is cash rewards for doing well. I believe you win $10,000 for winning a regional and I think $25,000 for winning an international. So that's quite a bit. But let's say that you only get like 200 points for the season. It actually nets you out a special card called the Ace Trainer card as well, which is really cool. It has an Ace Trainer stamp and generally goes for a lot of money. And depending on how you're doing throughout your season, you get travel rewards as well. So there's some incentive to play and get the cards and get the prizes and just generally become a Pokemon champion. Alright guys, so locally, how are you going to get these points? Locally, you're really going to do it through League Challenges and League Cups. League Challenge is like the easier one here, and League Cups is a little bit more official. Once you get into Top Cut, you do best 2 out of 3s. League Challenges are generally best of 1, and the person with the best record kind of wins there. So here's what the breakdown is. League Challenges, the first place is 15 points. And the best finish limit for both of these is 4. So what that means is out of, let's say you do 10 league challenges throughout your whole season, you're only going to get the top 4 best placements of those. So let's say you placed first at 4 of those, you're going to get 60 points. As you can see, 15 times 4. So it'll just take your best 4 placements. Same thing with League Cups. Let's say you won 4 League Cups. You can only max out at 200 points from the League Cups as well. So that's that, guys. That's championship points, how you can start getting in there. And then we can look at the secondary way to get points here, which is the more difficult way. You do have to travel, sign up, pay a fee to get into these tournaments. That's regional championships and international championships. And they give out a lot more points, as you can see here, guys. First place for regional gets 350. And I think you get an automatic, I'm pretty sure you get an automatic invite to Worlds if you win. And international is 500 points. And here's the points breakdown. It did change this season. I think they are giving out a little bit more points in each section just to account for tiebreakers and such. But that's that. But before you kind of get into League Challenges, League Cups, Regionals, Internationals, you do need to create a Play Pokemon ID, which you can do on this link here. I'll link it in the description down below. And then we can take a look at Event Locator and how you can start finding these events near you. Let's go ahead and click on this. We'll kind of take a look. So this is what the event locator looks like right here, guys. Let it load up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's not loading right now for whatever reason, which is pretty annoying. But essentially what you get is just a list of all the shops right here. And you can see what events they got going on. I actually like switching the sort by to date. It'll just show you kind of what's the next chronologically near you, what the next kind of tournament is. So I like doing it by date and then just writing down the dates and going, checking it out. What I was doing is just participating in League Cups and League Challenges just because it was local. I didn't really have the gumption to go to regional or international quite just yet, but I do want to do it next season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the Play Pokemon app here. It's going to give you a feed of all the kind of tournaments that you've gone to recently. it's a really cool app, actually. You go to the Play tab down here. It'll show you how many points you had for the season. I only had 106. Is nothing too crazy at all. But I didn't really do much. I did 7 League Cups and 5 challenges. You click on the cups, it'll kind of show you. Okay, I placed 4th in this one, 4th in this one, but then I played 14th, 11th, 20th, and 21st. And that was kind of when I first started playing. As you can see, I played in September, and then I stopped for like a lot of months, 7-8 months, and came back in May to try and get my Ace Trainer. It didn't quite work out. I came too late. but it's really cool. Yeah, you can just check all your stuff. You can change even the season and then check previous seasons out as well by changing it here. So just a cool catalog of all the stuff that you've done. And I really appreciate an app like this that'll kind of let you keep track of all the stuff that you're doing throughout the season. So highly recommend downloading this app on the Play Store or iPhone App Store or whatever. Alright guys, now we're going to look at something for registering for bigger events. So first thing, you have to create your player ID, which you could do on the link that I already had shared. What you're going to do when you want to register for big events is you can kind of go up here when you're in the Pokemon Championship Series. This is going to be linked down below as well. You go to upcoming events, and this is Worlds. You need an invitation for that, so we're not going to look at that. But the next one coming up is Baltimore. You go to event details, click on learn more. It's going to take you to this site here, this Baltimore regional site. And this is actually where you're going to actually register for it. Now, this is something new because before you had to do something where you had to go to a separate website and follow some certain person on Twitter to get notifications. It was kind of like a whole thing. But they're telling you here that you want to have your player Pokemon ID and set up your RK9 profile before doing anything. And they have the links to do that, to set up your RK9 profile and create your Pokemon ID. So make sure you do that. And it says right here, registration for the regional will be published here soon. So I would actually follow RK9 Labs on Twitter as well, because they actually kind of do, notifications and stuff when stuff is going to open up for registration. So I would highly recommend following them on Twitter as well. That's kind of how you're going to sign up for the tournaments. I've linked right here the upcoming tournaments that you can click on and go to event details and register for those. Following RK9 Labs on Twitter. All this will be linked in the description down below. And guys, just like these tournaments fill up so fast, like within minutes of opening, I'm pretty sure. So if you are interested in going to one of these tournaments, I highly recommend kind of just following RK9 Labs on Twitter and turning notifications on so you don't miss when they go live, so you can register for the tournament. And lastly, guys, best resources for new players. You have Limitless TCG, which is really cool. Kind of just shows you the tournaments. Here we can click on AIC, the latest big tournaments. It's got all the decks, people who won. You can check out deck list, statistics, standings, all this cool stuff. Get the deck list, copy to clipboard, and you can import it right into Pokemon TCG Live and start practicing. That's really, really cool. Another thing you got here is Limitless Labs, guys. This is a really cool site. I think it's like, basically another site of Limitless, just with a lot more functionality for data analysis. If we were to do something like click metagame, we'd be able to add a bunch of tournaments and then see the data across multiple tournaments and kind of make a judgment call there. We could do something like add these kind of tournaments here, click apply, and it'll tell you all the information across all of the tournaments. Right? We have overall how much Dragapults there were. If we turn the variant grouping on, we could see that 32% of the meta share is Dragapult. So when you're looking at the meta across the last 5 turns, you can kind of tell yourself, okay, what deck do I want to play? What do I need to beat? What are my matchups looking like? We can look at things like conversion, where Dragapult has a really high conversion rate for being such a high played deck. It's a good sign for the deck, right? Like normally when there's a really high played deck, the conversion rate is not that great, but it is for Dragapult. So just a sign of how strong the deck is. You can see here, Sylveon has the highest conversion rate. It doesn't have much data, right? There's only a few decks playing it, and 2 of them converted. That's why it has such a high rate. It's a little bit skewed there, but actually Crustle is a pretty big high conversion rate deck. So things like that you can see across the tournaments. It's really cool, and I highly recommend using this tool if you want to get a little more nerdy with it and using data to make your decisions on what deck you're going to play. And then lastly, guys, My Limitless TCG. This is a cool site as well, where you can kind of create your decks, and from there, just have it ready to import. You can create decks here from scratch. You can obviously do this in the game too. But what I like about this is you can go to Tools, Print Deck List, and when you print this deck list, you'll be able to kind of use it for your tournaments, as you can see here. So you can save it as a PDF, and then save it on your Google Drive, and email it to tournament organizers when you go to tournaments. So it just makes that part a little bit easier, because each time you go to a tournament, you kind of have to write down all the cards, and that can take a while. So I highly recommend this, because you can kind of just print the deck list and send it over. Guys, that is the basics here for playing Pokemon in 2027. Let me know if you guys are going to go to Baltimore Regionals. Let me know if you're excited for League Cups and League Challenges. Guys, one thing I want to mention is there's some mid-year celebrations and Pokemon World celebrations happening very, very soon. So I would check your area for mid-year celebrations and World celebrations, because they're going to be doing things like win a box. Being able to get a lot of store credit at these shops and get a bunch of Pokemon cards, which is really cool. And for the World Celebration, if you win that, you get like a special stamped Pikachu, which is like, let me move my head here, right here, because you could filter right here on the side for mid-year celebration in 2026. And yeah, if you get that Pikachu, I mean, that's cool. I guarantee it's going to be worth a lot of money, but also it's just cool to be like, hey, I got this first place card. It's special. I'm a special guy kind of thing, you know? So really cool, guys. Anyway, I highly recommend you guys try out playing competitive Pokemon for 2027. Let me know what you're excited about, what decks you're excited about. I'm going to be practicing Festival Lead with Pitch Black coming out and Gladiant's Decisive Battle being added to the deck. So look out for that on the channel. Guys, I hope you have a good day, and remember, all your dreams are just beyond the horizon. Take care. Bye-bye.